weeknights on Fox Business.
Walking on sunshine, consumer sentiment on the rise and beating street expectations today. Is this a ray of hope? Here now, Fox Business's Charlie Gasparino, along with Veronica Dagger, and former CBO Director Doug Holtz-Eakin. Thanks so much for joining us, Doug. I'm going to let you go first.
Thank you.
Because you're on the road there. Consumer sentiment rising higher today. The consumer is what was missing from that GDP report. Consumer spending was very weak. That was one of the big reasons we saw the big contraction. Does this mean things are about to get better?
I don't think so. If you look inside the numbers, they're happier about what's going on right now, but they're not more confident about the future. And if you look at the monthly data, we've seen in the past 2 months, the first 2 months of the second quarter, real declines in personal consumption expenditures. So there's not a lot out there that suggests the households are going to pick up this economy and carry it.
You know, Charlie, I always laugh when I see the consumer sentiment numbers because it's like asking people what they will do. It's not what they're actually doing.
Right.
I mean, it's like how you're feeling.
What they might do,
right?
You know, in the future, maybe, possibly. I would just say this about, I think that negative GDP print was probably somewhat of an aberration. I mean, I don't think we're in a recession right now.
It certainly makes the rest of the year look like it's
not.
It's
not going to. I'm not saying it's good, but you know, one thing about the Obama economy, we've seen this one before, where you have a blip up in GDP, you have a blip up in consumer confidence, and then you get a blip down, and then you really have very, very little economic growth.
And it all nets out to just standing still.
To Ugats.
That's right.
Charlie,
go
can I
ahead.
point something out?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, Charlie. With the first quarter that we got, we'd have to grow at 3.7% every quarter for the rest of the year just to hit 2% for the year.
Okay.
No, it's amazing.
We've never seen that in this presidency.
And then, Veronica, I would say on the horizon, I mean, we have the specter of potential inflation. If you heard James Bullard here on Fox Business earlier this week, he's already saying it's going to be hotter than we thought. Consumers, as they go to the store every day, they certainly feel it being hotter every day. I mean, is that a real threat, inflation?
Yeah, I think it is. And you know, you go to the grocery store now, things cost more than they did a couple of months ago. So I think that's a real issue. And also, if you look at the personal spending numbers we got for May, if you adjust for inflation, those numbers actually went down. So I think between that and people's fears about the economy, they're still seeing people, their neighbors, without a job for a long time. People are underemployed. They're afraid to spend. So we're going to see the savings rates continue to go up until people feel more secure. I don't know what that's going to take, though, to make them feel more secure.
I mean, Doug, you're saying, you know, we would have to be above 3% for the rest of the year in order to even out to something. What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the year?
What this economy has done for years is it's ground along at 2%. That's been the average consumption growth, household spending growth. There's no evidence that they're going to change their behavior. They don't have the income or the sentiment to do it. Businesses are the wild card, and if they somehow get some animal spirits and go with a big CapEx expansion, then we can get a good year.
Doug, that's a scary.
I don't see that, Charlie.
I agree with you. If you're talking about 2% growth and you have sort of, and you're talking about inflation in certain sectors where the Fed has to raise rates, I mean, we're headed for a recession. I mean, Hillary Clinton runs for office. If she runs in 2015, 2016, it's very possible that she runs in the middle of an economic
Interesting.
downturn.
Meanwhile, you always make the point, Charlie, and you're right, the only one who's getting rich in this economy right now are people who are in the market, because that's what all this Fed work has done, is just stimulated the stock market. It's ironic that these policies out of Washington, all they've helped are the 1% who they say they hate. So very interesting. Guys, thanks to all of you for joining us.